Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to On the Range Podcast with War HOGG Tactical and Kelley Defense. I'm Mark Kelley from KelleyDefense.com, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host and friend, Rick Hogg from WarHOGG.com. How's it going, pal?
Man, Mark, it's going great. Big shout out to the NRA for inviting us down to Atlanta to Voices of the Second Amendment. Super excited about my next guest, my good friend Travis Hall from Second Chance.
What's up, guys?
From Second Chance K9. We're going to be talking about dogs, so.
Repeat offender.
Only once, though.
Yeah.
This is good. This is good coming back.
Yeah.
Circling back.
That's it, man.
And it was like super early in the nonprofit. We did this. We did this in I just gotten back from Africa, and so the first year we had this nonprofit, I was deployed. Mm-hmm. I just gotten back from Africa. We were brand new. We had 12 followers on Instagram, and so this is awesome. It's awesome to be back. We're a lot bigger now, not physically bigger, but our presence, and we've done, since that time, we've done about 30 service dogs.
Nice.
Wow.
And 19 to now, 30 dogs.
Okay.
Which doesn't seem like a lot, but man, let me tell you, it's a lot.
So if I had done my homework properly, I would have known Travis was guest whatever in our 500-plus episodes we've done, right?
Yeah.
It was early. Yeah.
Yeah. But just give kind of the viewer, listener, just a quick rundown what Second Chance is doing, how they can support, just a rough idea of what you guys are doing.
So took all my training from the military stuff that we did with dogs, not the bite work, not the apprehension work, but just the team player that the dogs were when we were running dogs, and how Bear, my dog, was he was a member of the ODA. He was a part of the team. He was with me when we would do the circle ups to go out on missions. Mm-hmm. He was he was just that. And so when I left active duty and transitioned over to contracting and guard, I was missing that team environment. I missed it. I didn't have it every day. I only had it every once in a while. And so Bear finally retired to me, and I got that team back. And so with Bear, we were like, holy crap, we want to replicate this for so many other people out there that are struggling and, because we're a PTSD and traumatic brain injury organization, and so where you can find us, back to the original question, is you can find us at secondchancek9.com. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. Our registered 501c3 name is Second Chance K9 Service Dogs. That's our 501 name. We are soft specific. We're very small. It's myself and my wife and my son and our board who do this. So we unfortunately we can't help everybody. We want to help everybody. It's just really, really hard. Yep. We have 7 dogs at our home right now. So in various stages of the training. But it's been a kind of a little bit of a crazy ride in that deployments and trying to keep up with this, and then being full-time Army, so it's been really fun, really stressful at times, but man, I love what we do for this community, the soft community, especially with these dogs, and seeing the change, kind of in them when they get a dog, and it's we're looking for a very specific guy, maybe not someone who's so deep down in that hole that he's self-medicating, we're looking for the guy that just needs that extra bump, that extra motivation to go outside.
Well, it's that, and then it's also the responsibility of having the dog.
100%, yeah.
So I will correlate it back to the handler side. That dog needs you for everything.
Yeah.
To be fed, to be watered, to be groomed, to be kitted up, to exercise, train.
Yeah.
All that. And that helps those veterans that are having some issues. It just keeps them a little more stable. And I've known guys in the past that this dog has kept me sober.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Because I can't be blacking out
that, and they're going to get up, even here at NRA, from the hotel, they're going to get up every morning at 6:30, and they're going to demand that you take them out. They're going to demand that you get up and do things, And so, even here, I'm like, oh crap! I got to get up. I got to take the dog out. I got to run. I got to do at least 2 miles with him before we go to the show. Because and then he won't be. He won't be super full of energy. He'll be the edge will be cut a little bit. And then I do obviously I do, just like you would if you were going to dry fire before you put your gun on, I do training with him before I come in here.
Yep.
And do sits and have people pet him and prep him, for his day. So, even just me, walking him around, he's more ambassador role, but walking him around, he just loves it, and he thrives on it. And while I necessarily don't really like talking to people, he definitely pulls me out of my shell, and I do end up talking to, I think we passed out 1,500 stickers yesterday, so, and it's we love it, man. We go to SHOT Show, we go here, we've been here almost every year. We were going to do Soft Week, but, I have a military conference now I have to go to, and just getting out here and him being the coolest ambassador I've ever, even you remember Barin. Barin was kind of she was kind of uppity, she was like, ooh, you want to touch me, but Kuma is like, oh, I'm gonna lay on your lap, it's awesome. I enjoy it. I have a strong team that helps me out, so just appreciate the heck out of them too,
Yeah, and the hardest thing, and we'll kind of go nonprofit stuff, because with us having the inaugural project, so our role is we help, again, SOF canines who need that medical care when they're retired, because there is no doggy VA. So again, same thing. We partner with the 501c3 that was already established, so that's Scott's wish. The hardest thing we have is trying to do that fundraising.
It's so hard.
Trying to get the message out there. Hey, whether it's Second Chance, K9, whether it's inaugural project, how can we ask people, hey man, need some dollars, because unfortunately we don't have the money tree in the backyard just plucking dollars off there.
We definitely don't. We've been relying on Patreon pretty heavily. It's not great. It's not the right platform for it. Patreon was more designed for creators or people that are offering training and stuff like that. We've kind of adapted it to what we do, in that you're not necessarily going to get free training out of it or anything, but you're going to know that, hey, this $5 a month that you're putting into Patreon is going to feed 2 dogs. This we do update videos and stuff like that. So I don't know what our Patreon is. I'll figure it out, and I'm so bad. It's probably just Patreon/Second Chance K9 or something.
We'll put the links in the show notes. We'll take care of that.
But I'm so bad about that stuff. But dude, back to that, I hate asking for money. I hate it. I didn't do this nonprofit to go out and beg people and ask people for money. I did this nonprofit to support SOF, specifically Special Forces guys, is why I started it, and it's just been, it's been so, the fundraising aspect of running a nonprofit, we are feast and famine always. We just pulled Draco, the little one on our social media, out of the pound because they were going to put him down because he had a broken leg. And, of course, the county animal shelter can't fund, the surgeries and stuff. We were lucky. I was able to, we were super conservative route. We're able to cast him and make him, and dude, we were drugging that dog because he's a Malinois.
Yeah.
And we're drugging this dog every day, 6 times a day, so that he just stays calm,
and that bone can reheal.
Yeah. And luckily with the cast and all of that, and 4 months of our lives, we were 4 months of intense, this dog's not allowed to do anything, we were able to rehab him and fix his knee and find him because we work with 160th, so he's with the 160th family, and he's just amazing, but man, that was almost $5,000, because he was at the vet every week, x-rays and, everything else. And so, and that's just one dog we've pulled out of the pound, we've, the pound seems to be our Achilles heel with injured dogs, we pulled.
It's hard, man, because depending on the pound, and if they're basically a kill pound or not, they get a certain shelf life. And you hate to say it, but here you've got a dog that potentially has that potential to help a veteran out, and they don't care.
Here's what I would ask from your viewers and your following: be very careful about what breeders you go to, because we're seeing such a huge uptick. We're getting offered 30 dogs a day. I do this in my home, like we're actually building onto our home. We're building like an addition onto the home just for the dogs. But we're getting offered 30 dogs a day. I can't handle that. Like I'm not, dude, like there's like, I don't know any rescue in the world that can handle 30 dogs a day, and it's just because people see they see Kuma with me at this show, and I have 10,000 hours of training in Kuma,
right.
And they see Kuma at this show and they're like, oh, I can handle that, and then they get a dog and there's very specific hurdles and growth and training that you do with these dogs, like we did it when we were in the military. And like, if you don't stop them from biting, or if you're fostering them to bite, like they can never really go to public, after that. If you don't stop them from the nipping and the biting and the jumping, it just, you take a cute little baby otter that turns into like a giant, like a 70-pound velociraptor, that's biting you and pushing you and bullying you. The bully breeds are their own breed, but these dogs can very, very much be bullies,
They can be bullies, and the other thing is, and we talked about this last time you were on, too many people go out and, whether it's Malleys, Dutchies, any type of working dog, they get them, and then they're surprised when they come home and I'm missing half of my drywall, the couch is gone, something's torn up. You have to work the dogs.
Oh,
right?
100%.
Just like you were saying, I'm putting 2 miles in before I even come to the show. God knows how many miles you're walking here. Just to burn some energy off of this guy.
Oh, it's insane.
To try to bring him down from here just a couple notches.
And he's
down.
4 years old, so he's on the a little bit of the back slope of his energy levels. We've actually matured in this, and we're right now we're not certifying dogs until they're almost 2.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to get them certified by 1. And, spending the money and investing the time. And I was just like, man, this dog is just immature.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of like, I'll put a 1-year-old on, like 1.5-year-old on military work all day long because they're just, and they can be crazy, but a service dog, you want them, you're talking about taking a dog on an airplane, like you're talking about taking a dog into Walmart and having people walk up to you and grab him and grab his tail. And, so we've kind of gone to where 2 is now our kind of like our goal. We want to have them in service by 2.
Yeah. So just be aware. I'll let you know. So that other dog's kind of rolling behind.
Is it?
So,
okay. Yeah.
And you get the guy in there holding it. So again, going back to dogs, right? And you guys can't see it here, but my man's got, I don't know, some big old beast there, 2 hands on there, and it's who's leading who. And that's a prime example, right? So too many dog owners can't even control the dog, especially when it comes to these, these service dogs. You can't have this dog that's supposed to be helping that veteran out dragging him all over, right? There's got to be that control.
We see the fake ones all day long, every day. I'm actually really excited. I don't know who it was, but she's going to reach out to us after the show. A woman reached out to us, saw Kuma. Texas apparently just passed a law that it's a $2,000 fine for a fake service dog.
Wow.
And I support it. I fully support it. I can't tell, even at this show a few years ago, I had a training dog, and I'm very upfront with people when it's a training dog versus a service dog. I'm like, she's at the end of her training. This is something that we need to do because the person we're going to give her to is in the industry and they like to come to these events. So we very much want to walk her through this and expose her to this. Man, she got attacked by a dog that just came out from behind a booth,
Yeah.
And it set her back, it set her back pretty far, she was shook and I had to find another event that I could take her to, and to build her confidence back up. So fake service dogs can absolutely destroy a $50,000 service dog. Can just wreck it, can wreck its confidence, can hurt them physically. And so I want to be sympathetic to people, but my ask would be, if you think you can do the whole emotional support dog thing yourself, do that. Make it an emotional support dog. ESAs are great. They don't have the same rights, but man, do that. And then, be honest with yourself on what you're doing with that dog. And, and we plan our day around dogs, especially when I'm with a training dog. Like Kuma's certified, he's full service. But when I have a training dog, I'll ask, hey, this is not a fully certified service dog. Is it okay if I bring my dog in here and we do some training? And they're either like yes or no, And so, if for me, man, I just so many guys need these. Guys already don't want to ask for it. You know, they're already like, I don't need it. I'm good. You know, that's like the nature of who we are. You know, like we compartmentalize everything.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have like these fake dogs, people are like, you know, people that could benefit from this greatly won't do it because, you know, some dog gave them a bad experience or, you know, something like that. So we're above board. We put 240 to 260 hours in every single dog that we stamp certified, approved service dog. Mm-hmm. We're a rescue, so we have a pretty high fail rate, you know, like we're pulling from bad situations, you know, like Draco, the broken leg dog, was a court-ordered surrender. I'm actually going to go testify in court on the dude's court date and be like, look, this is what it cost my nonprofit to fix his mistakes, you know, and so we pull from all these kind of bad situations, you know, and so I have to look at the dog and I have to make an honest assessment whether, you know, is this dog going to be service or, you know, like you've met Chuck's dog, you know, like she's awesome, and you know, and like, but I have to, and I also have to be on our guys and be like, hey, dude, you haven't been to training in a while. You know what I mean? Like, you got to come back. You got to, like, this is perishable stuff, you know? But I love the nonprofit, and sometimes I hate it, you know, like, because it's a lot of work. I don't mind the work. It's just keeping up with so much, you know, and not having a full facility yet, you know, kind of like that. We're building towards that, but not having that, and like, just like my family is like the best sports in the world, you know, like we don't have a kennel, so we don't, you know, so we can't have volunteers, you know, we do this at our home. So we do everything. We don't, you know, like when we have to be very careful when we go on vacations and stuff. So,
I bet.
Mel and Tragan are champions for this cause, and I truly appreciate them. But
well, we appreciate you because we deal with veterans all the time, just like you do, and buddy, I'm telling you, you're helping out a lot of people, especially in your area of expertise with that same group. So hats off to you, because it can't be easy. I had a Jack Russell and a wiener dog, and going out of town, getting someone to watch them, I can't imagine what you guys go through. But hats off to you and your family.
Well, man, and we have a really good, like our vet, one of our vet techs is like our dog sitter, you know, and so we have it kind of dialed in, and it's just getting better, you know. Like I said, I'm doing an addition to our house right now, kind of self-funding, self-building, you know, and we're putting this addition together so that, because the dogs are literally in our kitchen. You've been to my house. They're like, they're like right by our kitchen table, just sitting there in their kennels, you know. And so we're gonna build it up to where we move the dogs into like that. We have like a covered space. We're gonna make like a Florida room in Tennessee, but Florida room in Tennessee with heat and air, so, because, you know, and just give them their own space, you know, and give us a little bit of, you know, space as well. So you know, when the dogs are waking us up at 4:00 in the morning with spicy diarrhea, you know, like you're like, oh my gosh, nothing hits you like you think the sound, you know, the throw up. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, that throw up sound. I can stop on a dime. It's not that for me. It's the spicy diarrhea smell. You know, like I'll be in my bedroom and I'll be like, oh, like running into the kitchen to, you know, to stop it.
Before it gets worse.
So, but I mean, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. This is awesome what you guys are doing, and you know, if I had to say anything to any one of your followers, is take training. You know, get the medium range stuff. You know, don't buy the $4,000 pistol and then that be your first. You know, get the medium range stuff and spend the money on training. That would be my advice. You know, having done it for 28 years, you know, like I even see some of these younger guys that I'm like, man, you need more training. You know, you need more time behind the pistol. So, you know, I can't imagine what it's like being on your guys' circuit. Like I know what it's like being on mine and the Army circuit, but man, I appreciate what you guys do, because I'll probably be doing the same thing in a couple of years when I retire.
Brother, we appreciate what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So with you taking your knowledge, expertise in the canine world, transforming these basic rescues, right, and then making them into service dogs to help out veterans, dude, that is, I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for you, the viewer, listener out there, swing by Second Chance Canine. Look at your different ways to give to you, just to help, and it's hard as a nonprofit. It's hard to raise those funds, but you have to sit there and go, we need the money to operate.
Dude, it's asking for money is the absolute worst, because that's not who we were raised to be.
Yeah.
That's not what, Green Berets, Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, that's not what we do. Like we go make mission, right? Like we do more with less, right? And so, but there are funding aspects that, like a dog costs us about $30,000 by the time we're done with it, and so, and we're just giving that to the guy. We're just like straight up handing that to the dudes. And so, like we 100% rely on the kindness of others, like you guys are talking about, in order to do the mission we want to do. And ultimately, we're a PTSD traumatic brain organization, but ultimately we're an anti-suicide organization. Because if you think about it, when you have like this guy next to you, like it's not just you anymore, right? And you're not alone anymore, and you're not out there doing it by yourself anymore. You have to be there for this guy. And so having lost a few friends to suicide, from the community, that's what really, really drives us to do this. Is like I don't want to get phone calls anymore about my buddies, and if I can sacrifice a little bit of time and like a little bit of money on our part, and continue to do this, then I'm gonna.
Absolutely.
Because
if you can just reach one, right? Because there's nothing worse than getting that phone call, text, and now I'm scrolling through going, where'd I miss it?
I've got I've gotten those, like I didn't catch it that it was that cry for help text, and then the next, you're like, oh, bro, like just rolling with the punches on these guys, and then the next day they make that decision, and you're like, I fucked up, and it's like, like just like you said, going back and reading through, and then, ultimately having what happened, you look back and you're like, this was a cry, a cry. But, we're so cynical and dark in our humor, like it's hard, so.
Yeah. Well, everyone, make sure you go to that website. We'll put a link in the show notes, and give what you can. And at the very least, go just check out his stuff and see what he's doing. And if you know people who can help, just let them know as well. So thanks for being here again.
Hey, man. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys, man. Like, it's been awesome.
Oh, it's been
nice. We're gonna try and I'm gonna try and learn how to edit and do a YouTube channel.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, so that's like my goal for this summer is to learn. Like, it'll be rough. I'm not even gonna lie. It'll be like the picture frame will be like off, but I'm going to try and do like a YouTube channel about the dogs and, like maybe a training tip or so here.
That'll be great content for sure. Yeah.
So
we'll chat and help you out.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
All right,
All right. Thanks, guys.
So for the rest of you guys, don't forget, train hard, stay safe, and we'll see you on the range.